Hello, everyone. My name is Susan Bontly, and I'm one of the librarians at the Doña Ana Community College. I'm from the Espina campus, and my colleague, Jose Aranda, who will be helping me out and managing the chat, is from the East Mesa campus. And we are here to welcome you to our first fall session for DACC Library Presents, which is a series of presentations we do online to highlight various resources that the library has. Some of them are only for DACC community, meaning the students, the faculty, and the staff, and some of them are available to anyone who is a New Mexico resident. Today's presentation will be a combination of both. I will highlight some resources that are available to New Mexico residents and other resources that you have to be a member of the DACC community. Welcome, and I'm glad you were able to join us. First, a little bit of housekeeping. I introduced Jose. He will be my technical support. Any questions that you happen to have, you can go ahead, type them in the chat. You can send an individual message to him or one to everybody, and he will try and help you out. He will also be monitoring the chat for any questions that come up so that we can address them along the way. But I'm pretty informal, so if you do have a question, just go ahead and unmute yourself, ask your question. We would ask that you would go ahead and make sure your microphone is muted though during the presentation so that any background ambient noise doesn't interfere with the other people who are here listening. And we appreciate that. Thank you very much. The other thing is that we would like to remind you that the presentation will be recorded and then it will be posted on our YouTube channel and our library presentations website. We will be giving you those links a little bit later in the presentation. If there are any questions or if you have any technical issues, be sure and reach out to Jose. Here's a little bit about what we're going to be talking about. I would like to preface this presentation with these are consumer-oriented or the layperson's resources. These are not intended for anyone in the allied health services field, any nurses or doctors, although they are welcome to use these resources. But the ones that have been curated for this presentation that I'm going to cover are mainly for people who want to know a little bit more about health and wellness, about maybe they heard something or they read something or they saw something on TV in their Twitter feed, on Facebook or some other way, and they want to verify that the legality or whether or not it's a credible thing that they heard. These are great websites, great databases, books, and other resources that you can go and you can get accurate, credible information about a lot of health and wellness issues. Also, if you're into a specific type of wellness, like meditation, or maybe you're looking into intermittent fasting, or you just want to know more information about some sort of health topic, these would be great resources for you to use to find that out as well. We're going to cover 3 different areas: books and magazines, both print and electronic, databases, and then there's a short list of recommended websites like the Mayo Clinic and various very reputable sources that say, if you want to get medical information, these are the places that you should go. So let's get started. DACC has a lot of books in print. Obviously, they are at our libraries. We have 2 campuses and 3 satellites, 2 of which have very small collections there, and you can come and use them. East Mesa, which is off of Sonoma Ranch, and Espina campus, which is right next to NMSU. And we have books in print. We have several reference books, including illustrated medical dictionaries, books by the Mayo Clinic. We do have at least 1 Spanish-English, English-Spanish medical dictionary, and also other types of medical dictionary. Reference means that you can only use it on the location. You can't check it out, but we do have a lot of other interesting books that you can also check out. And those are just a couple of topics that I just pulled up from our long list of books that you can search for on our catalog. I will show you how to do that in just a short bit. Just a quick overview of where you need to start if you're looking. These books can be checked out if you are a community member and would like to check out books from either location. You'll need to have a library card that we will issue you. You bring in a picture ID and we set you up, and then you can take out books and other resources that you would like. Students, faculty, and staff automatically are in our system, and they can come in and use the library whenever we are open. Ebooks, let's say you can't make it to the library or you are reluctant to in this time of COVID. We do have many electronic books that are out there. The books I have selected here are available both to New Mexico residents as well as the DACC community. I identified them through the Gale ebook database, and you can get to that by going to the link at the bottom, which is El Portal. You can also use the library website to get to that. Either one of those will get you into the electronic books that are available to you, and they are more than just medicine. They're all different topics, but these are some of the ebooks that you can read online. Some of them have the capability of checking them out for a limited period of time and reading them offline. Each database is a little bit different. When you get in there, you can follow the directions and it will tell you exactly how that is done. So I'm going to take a minute and show you how to get to the book section. Our URL is dacc.nmsu.edu/library, but go to your favorite browser and type in Doña Ana Community College Library and you'll get it. If you do DACC Library, there is a DACC on the East Coast. So you may not realize that you're getting the East Coast Library and not the New Mexico. So you could say DACC New Mexico or NM Library and get to it as well. Anyway, this is our homepage. And as you can see, we have a discovery search, and that's where you would look for any book, especially if you have a title or a topic. You can type that in and our electronic catalog will come up and show you if we have the title. It will have a link to either the record about the book if it's on the shelf, or if it's an electronic book, it will have a link to the database where it's located. Now, if you're a community member, you may not be able to get to it if it is in a database that only DACC students, faculty, and staff can get to. If you have some issues or you're not sure what to do, you can always give us a call and we'll help you step through the process. If you're looking for the ebook though, they are right here. I clicked on the ebooks tab and there's a whole list here. Most of these are only available to students, staff, and faculty. But as you can see, if you come on down here, the one I was telling you about earlier, Gale eBooks for New Mexico residents, if you click on there, it's going to open in a new window and you have a lot of choices. And I had clicked on the medicine to get more information of something that was related to this presentation. And you can go through, some are in Spanish, a lot of them are encyclopedias or single book, what we would call a encyclopedia or reference book. So you could go through here, and once you click on something, it has a table of contents, and then you can go ahead. In this case, since it is an encyclopedia, it's got entries on all of these different things. You can read it online. Gale usually does not allow you to download it to read offline, but it does have a list of illustrations, an index, and you can search within the publication, which is really nice because obviously sometimes a term or a phrase that you are looking for might be in many different entries and you would like to find out all of them. So this is one of the ways that you can read about credible medical and health information and know that it's been vetted. You know, it's not your local quack or something like that. These are all written by doctors and medical professionals. They have been collected in a book that's now available online. I'm going to go back to the presentation. So we talked about the ebooks and the print book. These are ones that are available through a couple of those other listing under the ebooks tab. Well, a lot of our databases do have ebooks embedded in them. Some of them are related to the health field. A particular set of books that I pulled off are from the EBSCO ebook collection. So if you do have access to the DACC library databases because you're associated with DACC, then these are some of the possibilities. Some of these books are checkoutable, like I said. EBSCO does have a venue so that you can read it on a device like a tablet or a Kindle or something like that. Even you can read it on your desktop. But Gale is unfortunately one of those that does not. So these are just some of the topics: nutrition, aromatherapy, a lot of wellness, exercising, running, yoga, Pilates, things like that. We also have a selection of magazines that fall into the health and wellness arena. These are ones that I pulled up, and they are available through the Gale Health and Wellness database, which I am going to show you very shortly. They have not only magazines, but they also have newspaper articles and other sources of information. If you're a person who wants to possibly read the Harvard Women's Health Watch, which is something that comes out on a regular basis about different research that Harvard is doing, but is written in a layman's terminology as opposed to a medical person's terminology. Consumer Health News, the Vegetarian Journal, all of these are available through the Gale Health and Wellness database for you to look at online. The databases that I'm going to talk about today, and I'm going to mainly focus on the health and medicine one and briefly touch on the other three that are, again, consumer oriented as opposed to allied health services or medical oriented. So they are written in terminology that is more understandable. You're not going to find any research that you would need to understand specific tech and terminology for. There will be research-based articles and information in here, but it's not written for a medical professional. So we're going to first talk about health and medicine, which is a Gale, and it is available to everyone. Then I'm going to briefly talk about the last three, the alternative health watch. If I go over to the El Portal, which is the New Mexico State Library, it gives you a list. And if we go to all resources here, and there's the health and medicine. So I can click on here, and this is what the front page looks like. So the health and medicine has the logo on the top. It has a lot of interesting features that will allow you to search all of their resources. One of the ones that we highly recommend from the library, if you're just exploring, is to use the search tools. And there is a topic finder. Topic finder is a way for you to see how things are a little bit interrelated. In my case, I searched for flu season, and you can visualize. It's got two visualizers here. One on the left is more the box, and then the right is the wheel. And according to the way it is laid out, if you'll notice that under the influenza vaccine, there is other information related to that, and that is how you can find multiple resources all related to the one topic. As you click on these, more information comes up. So what I did was I clicked on the COVID-19 influenza COVID-19 because I was curious to know, how does the flu season, how is that going to be affected by the COVID vaccination and just COVID in general? I got these results. As you can see, I could choose anything in here. When I clicked on the flu season and then the COVID this, I got these choices here. From here, I could go through and I could see that there's a list of articles that are available. And here are some of the keywords. Now, unfortunately, Gale doesn't tell you what the age is of these. These could have been written, obviously, last year. What's happening, the Delta variant and everything, you would probably have to put in Delta variant to reduce it a little. I clicked on one of them, and this is how I could tell it was almost a year ago. It tells me that it's an article. The blue underlined, dotted underlined. If you click on them, you will get additional articles related to that particular topic. This is how you got the flu season. It's in red, and vaccination down here is in blue. And one of the things I wanted to point out is if you wanted to explore more related articles, you can go ahead, and this does tell you when they were written. It's also related subject. Each one of those is a link to another group of articles for the related subject. And these are individual articles that you could read. And you can read it all online. You can go ahead and download it or print it or email it to yourself as well. These are all ways that you could get more information and explore the links to find out related information. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about the other databases that are available. If you are a DACC community member, like a staff, faculty, or students, you have access to two EBSCO databases, Alt Health Watch and Health Source, and they also look quite similar to one another. The Alt Health Watch does focus on alternative health. It's more holistic. They do have different audiences. When I put in intermittent fasting to the Alt Health Watch, I got 40 results, which included videos and 2 academic journals. When I went to the Health Source Consumer Edition, I got more results, including videos, but no academic journal. The Health Source includes newspapers, but not academic journals. And the Alternative Health Watch includes academic journals, but not newspapers. Together, they cover a very broad group of information. Now, obviously, if it's not a holistic or alternative topic, you might not find as much information in the Alternative Health Watch as you would in the Health Source. There are ways to limit what you get because you may get a lot of information. You may get thousands, if not tens of thousands of hits. If you put in diabetes and things like that, you're going to get a lot of information. So there are some ways to limit your results. You can limit it by choosing full text. That means you can read it right away. If you don't click on full text, then you are going to get information, maybe a summary of it, but you won't get the article or what the full amount of information. You will have to find it in another database possibly. You can also change the scope of what you're looking for, the publication date. If it is like, for example, COVID would automatically probably only get the last 3 or 4 years. If there was anything related to the SARS novel coronavirus previous to when we identified it, it might be only a year earlier or something like that. You can also, for the Alt Health Watch, only look at the academic journals, and you can sort it by relevance, author, where it came from, or the date. But for the Health Source, you'll notice there is no academic journal, just like there's no newspaper in the source type, and you don't have a source or an author. So these are different ways you can reduce the scope of what you're looking for, or expand it depending on how you would like to do this. Gale has a health and wellness database that's quite similar to what we saw in the health and medicine, but it's arranged differently. Whereas the other one had a topic search that you could do, this one has the topics already broken out. There are a lot of different topics you can choose from, over 300, and it will give you more information. I put in flu season COVID, just like I did for the previous Gale database. It tells you what you've got. I found 10 magazines, 27 news articles, and 1 academic journal. It automatically defaults to full text, so you don't have to worry about getting something you can't read the entire text of it. It does have a topic finder, which is the same search interface that we saw previously with either the wheel or the boxes with the colors in it. One of the nice things about this one that I really like when you're filtering, though, is that you can search within your results. So if you are narrowing, let's say you start out with a very broad topic and you can slowly narrow it down by searching within it. You can search for documents with images. You can get documents in Spanish. Peer-reviewed is like an academic or scholarly journal. So if you are specifically looking for that, you can click on that and it will only give you those results. So this is a way of, again, narrowing what you are looking for to a smaller group if you start out with something very large. Right here, we're looking at 38 articles, and that's not a lot. So you could probably skim those fairly quickly to see if it contains the information you're looking for. I know it was pretty quick, but this is a presentation that we are trying to keep short. So we have 6 recommended websites. Most of them are government oriented. We have Medline Plus, which is always one that comes highly recommended. There's something that the National Library of Medicine puts together, which is a part of the National Institute of Health, called Health Reach. It is consumer oriented versus a lot of the National Institute of Health are for the medical profession. Health Finder also gives you information, and they come in a lot of very quick and easy fact sheets that you can use or share with family and friends. Can't talk about health without talking about the CDC. They have an awful lot of good information. Again, a lot of it is in bite-sized pieces. You have some videos and tutorials and things like that. So it has a lot of health topics, especially on infectious diseases, obviously, but also vaccines and various other areas that you might be interested in, especially if you have older family members or young children. The Mayo Clinic has a really good health education section. It again is written in consumer-friendly, patient-friendly language. It will give you some terminology that you could then take back. Any of these websites could take back to the databases and search for and get more information. Merck is a very reputable producer of print and electronic reference resources. They have made available to the public several quick reference texts, including home health, pet care, geriatrics, which is older people. If you get a diagnosis and you want to know what some of the therapy options are, you can use that manual. There are several there that you could go to their website, check them out. It's just a short list. They have more. So we've covered the books and magazines that are available both in print and electronically, the databases that are available, and 6 recommended websites. There is a ton of information out there on the internet. We know that. Problem is that you're not exactly sure where it's coming from. So we highly recommend anyone who wants more useful, credible health information or wellness information to check these out first before you just go search and type into Google or one of the other browsers phrase or a term and you get overwhelming amounts of information. It's better for you to go ahead and maybe use one of the databases or one of those websites and get more reputable, credible information. Our next library presentation is in 2 weeks. It will be done by Jose, and he will be talking about the various Spanish language resources that are available to the public and to the DACC community. It will be at 10 a.m. on the 8th of September. If you would like to register for it, you can send Jose an email, or you might see it in the hotline. It'll be announced there. It'll be announced on our website. Well, thank you for coming. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday.